Okay, let me tell you a story. My name is Lawrence Bland III. I'm a regular everyday person just like you and many others that are watching this video now. I had type 2 diabetes. This happened about 5 or 6 months ago. My father and I were attending a funeral of a friend of the family that had passed away. During that funeral, we met a gentleman that needed a ride. The gentleman was a big fella, about 6'4" tall, weighed about 450 pounds. He was having a difficult time getting around. He had to use a cane to help with his walking. The reason he needed the ride was because he had a difficult time simply walking a few steps, let alone a couple of blocks. The hard time walking was because he could barely feel his legs anymore. His type 2 diabetes had just gotten worse over the years. The really sad part was he did have a car. He just was not able to drive it anymore. He was wearing dark glasses because he was losing his sight as well. He was a very pleasant and nice person, but what really woke me up was his whole attitude and how he was dealing with his diabetes. He had accepted that eventually he was going to lose his legs to amputation. His doctors had done a good job preparing him for what he thought was inevitable. They were going to cut off his legs eventually, and he was okay with that. That was my wake-up call. He was only 8 or 10 years older than I was at the time. What I saw in him, I saw possibly my own future if I kept on the same path I was on. You see that picture? That's me years ago and now today. It has taken me about 14 years to finally discover what it was I needed to do in order to drop the pounds. Keep in mind, I only discovered the true secret to weight loss just 3 months ago. In that time span, I shed over 65 pounds. The real irony here was that the secret was really no secret at all. It has always been there staring me in the face. Prior to discovering this secret, I had tried just about everything to lose weight. I tried shakes, pills, crazy workout routines, weight loss coffee, and pretty much anything you could think of. Except this one secret thing. What I had discovered was something called intermittent fasting. I'm going to get more into that in more details later as far as what is intermittent fasting. You know about it or might have heard about fasting or intermittent fasting. Throw it out the window. I'm going to give you the real facts about intermittent fasting and how it has changed my life. But let's get back to my wake-up call. I saw in him my potential future. I wasn't going to accept that. Type 2 diabetes does not have to be a slow death. Most traditional doctors will tell you your condition can be managed with proper medication, diet, and exercise, with heavy emphasis on the medication portion of things. This is actually 100% true if all you want to do is manage your diabetes. What traditional doctors fail to mention is the one key thing you can do to cure type 2 diabetes. This is where intermittent fasting comes in. I was taking 5 medications daily for years: insulin, amlodipine, metformin, and 2 others. Medications for type 2 diabetes and high blood pressure. Today, I don't take or have to take any. My blood sugar, normal. Blood pressure, normal. I feel better today than I have felt in over 2 decades. Contrary to what most traditional doctors will tell you, type 2 diabetes is not a hereditary disease. I'm going to repeat that. Type 2 diabetes is not a hereditary disease. Having a predisposition for something is quite different than something being hereditary. Let me explain. Your father has brown eyes and your mother has green eyes, but your grandfather has blue eyes. You're born with blue eyes. This would mean that more than likely you inherited the blue eyes from the genes passed down from your grandfather. Now, the fact that your mother might have diabetes or your father might have diabetes does not mean that you will have diabetes. You most likely have a predisposition for that disease. However, it is not definite or inevitable that you will get diabetes. Meaning, there are lifestyle changes you can make to where you never get type 2 diabetes or reverse the type 2 diabetes that you have now. I'm going to tell you exactly what I did in order to get to the point where I am today. First, I was going to educate myself. I purchased several ebooks, videos, and audiobooks. Search Google, Bing, and Yahoo for anything I could find on intermittent fasting, type 2 diabetes, what foods to eat, and weight loss. In my search, one thing that kept standing out: intermittent fasting.